Hey y'all, it's Kim. So this will be video 2 of chapter 4 of the Robert Hur Classified Documents report against Joe Biden. This section is pretty long and it's got a lot of photos and stuff in it. I just now looked through it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, this is video 2 of chapter 4. So in October of 2016, Mr. Biden's staff installed a new safe at the Naval Observatory for the storage of Mr. Biden's note cards. Shortly after, the executive secretary detailee raised an objection to the handling of Mr. Biden's note cards in October 2016. Mr. Biden's staff installed a new safe at the Naval Observatory. Email traffic from that time suggests the safe was meant to store Mr. Biden's classified note cards. On October 20th, 2016, 2 days after the executive secretary detailee objected to the handling of the note cards, Mr. Biden's deputy national security advisor reached out to Mr. Biden's personal aide, asking to run something by Mr. Biden. Later that night, the personal aide replied that he had talked to Executive Secretary Bukotic and said, "And sounds like we're good. Let me know if there's anything additional beyond the safe issue." That same day, the Deputy National Security Advisor sent an email with the subject line, "New Safe at NAV OBS," to Mr. Biden's Chief of Staff, Counsel, National Security Advisor, and others. In the email, the Deputy National Security Advisor said that the VP approved the placement of a new safe at the NAV OBS and conveyed his desired location. He explained that the safe would be installed the following day and would be loaded up with the relevant materials. Later that evening, a career employee on the executive secretary team emailed the detailee to let her know for her awareness that a safe was being installed. Although these emails suggested that Mr. Biden's staffers installed the new safe at the Naval Observatory to store the note cards, the staffers told investigators they did not remember why the safe was installed or what was stored in it. At the same time, Mr. Biden's staff was considering how to handle the note cards. He told his ghostwriter that they didn't even know that he had notebooks containing similar classified notes. Mr. Biden appeared to reference the note cards issue during a recorded interview with his ghostwriter Swanitzer on October 10th, 2016, the same time period during which his staff were discussing and arranging the secure storage of the classified note cards. At the time, Mr. Biden was reading aloud from his foreign policy notebook, including reading notes from meetings in the Situation Room. Let's see, Situation Room. As explained below, Mr. Biden's notebooks were separate from his note cards, though he often took similar and similarly classified notes in each. Referring to his foreign policy notebook, Mr. Biden added, "They didn't even know I have this." Wow. Mr. Biden, there was a lot of stuff going on at the same time in foreign policy. Going on at the same time in foreign policy, they said you didn't want to go into, but I have extensive notes over the period of time. Swanitzer, "Oh, you actually have those here?" Mr. Biden, "Yeah. Now there's a lot of other notes too, but I mean, they didn't even know I have this. Some of this stuff I'm not, going. I have stuff all the way up to 5/19, May 19th, and then it skips in my notes to 6/16 in the next entry." In this exchange, Mr. Biden seemed to distinguish between his note cards, which his staff were in the process of implementing protocols to safeguard, and his notebooks, which they didn't even know I have. As explained below, although the note cards and notebooks both contain classified information. Most of the note cards were handled differently than the notebooks after the vice presidency. G, the investigation did not determine what, if anything, staff told Mr. Biden about the proper storage of classified information in his note cards. After staff raised concerns about the possibility that Mr. Biden's note cards may contain classified material, his staff discussed how to properly handle and store the note cards. There is some indication that Mr. Biden's staff may have advised him that his note cards contained classified information and needed to be held in a secure location, but the investigation did not determine what, if anything, Mr. Biden's staffers actually told him on the subject. And then there's a recording. Okay. As explained above, emails obtained during the investigation show that in October 2016, Mr. Biden's national security staff appeared to have installed a new safe at the Naval Observatory in which to store Mr. Biden's note cards during the rest of his vice presidency. After an email from Mr. Biden's deputy national security advisor asked Mr. Biden's personal aide to run something by Mr. Biden, a follow-up email from the personal aide referred to the safe issue, suggesting that the personal aide had talked to Mr. Biden about the decision to install a new safe at the Naval Observatory to hold Mr. Biden's note cards. But when interviewed, neither the Deputy National Security Advisor nor the personal aide recalled talking to Mr. Biden about the installation of the safe or the handling of his note cards. For her part, the associate counsel who initially raised concerns about potentially classified material in Mr. Biden's note cards believed the then counsel to the vice president, John McGrail, was going to meet with Mr. Biden to address the issue. According to the associate counsel, after she flagged the issue of classified information in Mr. Biden's notes, she thought someone had a conversation with the vice president about the binders containing copies of the note cards and probably about making sure classified documents are put in the safe. The associate counsel believed Mr. McGrail had this conversation with Mr. Biden, but she was not part of it and did not know what, if anything, was discussed. As explained below, for his part, McGrail did not recall any such conversation and indeed said he did not remember anything about the note card project or about concerns that Mr. Biden's note cards could contain classified information. Mr. Biden's deputy chief of staff recalled discussions about a slightly different issue. As he described it, during the last year of the Obama administration, members of Mr. Biden's staff flagged that Mr. Biden had written personal notes by hand on the pages of classified documents. Mr. Biden's deputy chief of staff had discussions with McGrail and the associate counsel, as well as others, about the proper disposition of these notes. They determined that the counsel's office would convey to Mr. Biden that he could not keep the notes after the end of the administration because classified documents belong with either the creator of the documents or, if they were native to our office, to the National Archives. The deputy chief of staff was not involved in any conversation between McGrail and Mr. Biden on this issue. Again, McGrail did not recall having any conversations with Mr. Biden about the proper disposition of classified documents, though McGrail did not recall telling Mr. Biden that all his records, which McGrail understood to encompass notes, would be sent to the National Archives. Emails obtained during the investigation suggest that McGrail and others in the office of the vice president conducted some research on the handling and accessing of classified materials after the vice presidency. In November 2016, for example, McGrail sent an email containing a reference to the executive order governing classified or classification, specifically citing the provision that would apply when a former vice president sought to gain access to classified information. And then let's see, Executive Order 13526, Section 4.4, access by historical researchers and certain former government personnel. It says McGrail, November 14th, 2016, email about Executive Order 13,526. 6 weeks later, in January 2017, the Associate Counsel sent McGrail an email containing information about the same executive order and about one use of Ronald Reagan's diaries after he was president, a topic that is discussed in more detail in Chapter 10. The subject line of the email was per our discussions today. Okay, and then, so again, this McGrail, or to McGrail from somebody, I don't know who that is. It says President Reagan voluntarily allowed in-camera review of his diaries regarding the Iran-Contra. The court allowed in some relevant sections, 732F, I guess supplemental 135, and this is for the New York Times. Reagan is ordered to provide diaries in Poindexter case, ACML, whatever. And then this executive order is helpful when discussing the president's declassification authority. This is an executive order issued by President Obama. Part 3 explains the declassification process. And then whitehouse.gov, the press office, executive order, classified national security information. I'm still doing research, but I think these are a good start. And then it says Associate Counsel, January 5th, 2017, email referencing Mr. Reagan's diaries. And then during his interview, McGrail did not recall these emails or any discussions about the executive order or the Reagan diaries, except that he recalled having conversations about getting Mr. Biden's security clearance extended so Mr. Biden could access classified materials after the vice presidency. According to McGrail, he could not recall having any discussions about Mr. Biden's note cards, notes, or diaries containing classified information. McGrail explained that he and an archivist at the National Archives had arranged for all of Mr. Biden's records from the vice presidency, including all his notes, to be sent to the National Archives when he left office. In this arrangement, McGrail made no distinctions between presidential versus personal records or classified versus unclassified records. They simply arranged to send all of Mr. Biden's records to the archives. From there, McGrail said his understanding was that the archives would undertake the time-consuming task of sorting through the records to determine what was personal and what was presidential. According to McGrail, near the end of the administration, he told Mr. Biden they would send all his records to the archives. McGrail's message was simple. It was just, your records are going to the archives. That was it. McGrail told Mr. Biden this more than once, and Mr. Biden understood the arrangement and accepted it. McGrail said he did not discuss with Mr. Biden the specific requirements of the Presidential Records Act or the treatment of personal versus presidential records under the Act. McGrail also said he did not discuss Mr. Biden's notebooks or note cards, notebooks, or diaries with him. McGrail said he never spoke with Mr. Biden about withholding personal notes from the person or the National Archives. Mr. Biden never told McGrail he had notes he wanted to take home instead of sending to the archives, and McGrail saw no indication that Mr. Biden believed he could take classified notes home with him at the end of the vice presidency. If Mr. Biden had such a belief or plan, McGrail would have expected him to raise it during their conversations about sending all Mr. Biden's records to the archives at the end of the administration. McGrail never advised Mr. Biden one way or the other about whether he could keep classified documents, including classified handwritten notes, outside a secure authorized facility after leaving office, and McGrail was unaware of such advice from anyone else. More generally, McGrail said he was unaware of any conversations among staff in the office of the vice presidency suggesting that Mr. Biden could take classified materials home after leaving office and keep them outside a SCIF, noting it was the opposite. It was, how are we going to find him a SCIF in case he ever has a reason to go to a SCIF? When asked during his interview about whether anyone told Mr. Biden that the Presidential Records Act authorizes a former vice president to keep certain materials at home, even if they are classified, McGrail said no and added that that doesn't make logical sense to me. My understanding is that if you copy or write down classified information on a piece of paper, it maintains its classified status. According to McGrail, Mr. Biden did not and would not come to him for legal advice about whether he could take classified information home after the vice presidency because in McGrail's words, I think he knows. In McGrail's view, the rule that you cannot take classified information out of a secure facility is obvious. Okay, McGrail explained that Mr. Biden knew classified information needs to be maintained in a secure facility. He was the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. He understands how it works. Finally, McGrail said it would be surprising if Mr. Biden intentionally took home classified information after the vice presidency. In McGrail's words, Mr. Biden knew that information is classified for a reason, that its disclosure can harm sources and methods and the national security interests of the United States. And he has been committed to the national security interests of the United States as long as I've known him. According to Mr. McGrail, if Mr. Biden took home classified information after the vice presidency, it will be completely inconsistent with everything that we're killing ourselves to try to accomplish at the end of the administration by sending all of Mr. Biden's records to the National Archives. Okay, I'm going to stop it here and we'll start back up on page 76 under H here. I think we have maybe 20 more pages of this one, but we'll see how much I can get through. There's a lot of pictures in here, so that's going to take up some of the stuff and maybe some more emails. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.